Greetings, it's Vaygrim, back with another mod guide. And this time, I'm standing in front of my giant factory. Now, what I want to visit today does involve factories. It's not primarily factories. It's actually going to be about logistical sorters in Mekanism. So, if you remember, we had this little lesson right here, how factories work. Individuals upgrading, and how to combine all your factories into one single step-by-step or processing line. Well, what I'd like to address, there are my cards going back and forth, is something a little bit more complex. Wow. What on earth was that? Anyway, this is a logistical sorter from Mekanism. Basically, you can use it to sort items however you want. Now, with this one, I have a lot of filters set up, and I have a lot of pipes set up with different colors: dark blue, dark green, aqua, dark red, and purple. That's a bank of Java barrels down there with various things in them. So why do I have this entire thing set up? Well, basically, one complaint that I hear from a lot of people is that they have to have two sets of machines from Mekanism, and that's not entirely true. Basically, what they think is once you get an ore processing line set up, it gets very hard if you, say, just want to make glass out of sand. That only requires a smelter down there. Or if you only want to use silk-touched redstone ore to get more redstone out of it, that only takes an enriching chamber right there. Or perhaps there's something that just needs to be crushed, like plant matter, into biofuel. Well, there are various things that only require one or two steps in this entire process, not all four. And that can be a little aggravating. So people think that they need two sets of machines. A set of machines that they upgrade in order to use for their ore processing, and another set of individual machines that they don't upgrade and they just kind of muddle through with. Well, basically, if you use a logistical sorter, you can get around a lot of this. Now, one thing you'll notice, I have filters, like this is a filter for osmium ore to go to dark blue. Now, dark blue is this right here, which would be a purifying factory. I need some more of those, so stock it up. Now, of course, once a purifying factory gets ore, it gives you back clumps of any kind. And I have it set so clumps automatically go to dark green, which is the next step in the process, crushing. Okay? Now, crushing gives you dirty ore, dust. Dirty osmium dust. Set to go to aqua. That's the third step in the process, basically. And what happens is, it hits the enriching chamber and it becomes normal dust. And I have a filter, of course, to send normal dust to dark red, which is the smelter. That then produces ingots, and the ingots get sent to purple, where it automatically gets stored in a barrel. Does that make sense? Well, I'm actually going to show you step by step. I think I actually have. Let's see. No. Excuse me. If I were osmium, where would I be? There we go. I want some osmium ore. I'm just going to stick it in here. Now what you're going to see, that is one stack of osmium ore that's being sent down here. Now, clumps are being sent out one by one. Now what you'll notice is they're flagged black. Now why are the clumps flagged black? Because basically this is black right here, which means that every machine here has been configured to automatically send its output here. That means that once it hits here, the sorter automatically pulls it back out and sends it to the next step, which then gets sent back to the starting point, and it then gets sent back again. and so on and so forth until I get ingots, at which point they're sent all the way down here and stored. It is a loud process, but it's a necessary process. And you'll see the different colors for each individual step. See, now we're getting ingots out of the dark red machine. And you can still see there's still some clumps that are being processed as the first machine is still finishing its workload. Now, the last of the clumps have gone in through the dark green machine. And you see now over here, we have ingots that have already gone through the process. And they are finding a home. Very nice process. It's a very nice system. And what this means is I can, on the fly, adjust things. Which is very, very cool. So, that's still going. You see there's still some machines, some parts that are just now hitting the aqua, and some that are just now hitting dark red. More ingots, more dust. And just think, this is all with just one stack. Now, is this the fastest way to process things? No. But it is the smartest way to process them. Smart being in the fact that you can set this up to where you still have only one set of machines that can intelligently pull and process, and you can still use only one machine out of the entire line without ruining the rest of the actual processing line. And I'll show you how to set all this up. But as you see, we're getting more and more ingots down here. And you can see the sorter down at the other end, triggering every once in a while. Basically what it's doing every time you see it blink like that, it's finding something that matches a filter, and it's pushing it back out. Sometimes it's one at a time, other times it's 2, 3, or an entire stack of 64, as it did at the beginning. So this whole process goes automatically. It manages itself automatically, and everything sorts itself automatically. The great part about Java barrels is that these things actually do ore dictionary, which means if I have 2 different kinds of copper ore, or copper ingots, excuse me, they'll both go to the same barrel, and they'll both become one kind, which means not only is this self-sorting, it is self-ore unifying. You only have one kind of ingot for every single ore type, which is very, very nice. Now, this is on the tail end of finishing up. And you can hear that sorter clicking away, every time it finds something that matches its filter. Now I'm going to let this finish up, and then we can go over this entire process step by step. Okay, so my entire batch of osmium ingots have finished processing. As you see, I've gone from 3 stacks and a little extra to 6 stacks and a little extra, which is very, very nice. And as I was saying previously, I could have gotten 2 different kinds of copper ore, and all of the ingots for copper, despite the fact that they were from different mods, would still go here as long as they're declared in the ore dictionary as copper ingots. So this is not only a system that's self-processing, it's also self-unifying. You only end up with one kind of tin, one kind of silver, one kind of iron, one kind of steel, whatever you want. It's very, very nice. Now, I realize I'm showing you this, but I'm not explaining it very much. So let's go over it step by step. Basically, one key point right here is I've got this return path. And this is colored black. Now, all you have to do is use your configurator, which I have in my hand right here. Configurator. This is a Mekanism tool. You just shift, right-click, and you'll see right there in the text, dark blue, dark green, dark aqua, dark red, purple, indigo, bright green, aqua, red, pink, yellow, and then finally black, and nothing. So you just right-click while holding shift to cycle through the colors. Now I should correct myself. This is actually not aqua, it's dark aqua, but still, you get the point. So basically I have the first color of that entire line is dark blue. So I have the first machine is dark blue. Makes it easier for me to remember it because, well, I'm colorblind. The second color is dark green. Second machine is dark green, and so on and so forth. The last step is the fifth step, and that is the fifth color, purple. Now, basically the way it's set up in here is there's a couple of different kinds of filters. You can have an item filter or an OR dictionary filter. Now, some of these you can see I have OR dictionary filters for any kind of OR that's copper. And you can see this picture rotating. Now, just with the mods I have installed, I can do copper ore, and I get mariculture copper ore, nether ore, that's copper, Tinker's Construct copper ore, thermal expansion copper ore, Mekanism copper ore. Then there's ore berries from Mekanism, from Tinker's Construct, et cetera, et cetera. So it's not that simple, you know. It seems like that's not that big a deal, but it's a very big deal. If you miss one slight configuration, if you're doing your own mod packs, or even if you're using somebody else's and they missed one slight configuration, you could have 2 or 3 or 4 different kinds of tin spawning, or 2 different kinds of silver, whatever the case may be. So this looks for anything that qualifies as copper ore. And of course, the next step I have in that entire chain is once it comes out of the purifier, the first step, it becomes a copper clump. The next machine turns it into dirty copper dust. That machine cleans it to copper dust, and then it becomes a copper ingot, which gets sent off to the chest. It's all by color, and it's all very, very simple. So I have a lot of different things in here. Like I have a filter, I think, to automatically send sand. Now you'll notice it's not going to dark blue, it's not going to dark green, it's not even going to dark aqua. It is going straight to dark red because I set up a filter, because I'm wanting to turn a lot of sand into glass. This will get processed. I'm just going to speed that up a little bit. And all of that's going to black. And I already have another filter to send glass down to the barrels, because down here I have a barrel, there it is, that's awaiting all of my newly made glass. And here it comes in a nice big conga line. I really like this system because what this means is that basically you can have one chest that you can put everything into, and if you don't have to process something, it can go straight past it onto another chest down here that then gets sorted elsewhere. Otherwise, you could have it get processed and go to the barrels, or just go straight to the barrels, whatever you want to do. And you don't even have to use Java barrels. You could do this with factorization barrels. The only benefit of Java barrels is A, they do ore unifying, as I was explaining, combining multiple mods, different copper into one copper ingot. And B, you can actually put things into a Java barrel from all sides. It doesn't have to be the top. Otherwise, though, this would work with other barrels from other mods. You would just have to change the layout a little bit. Now let's go down here. We have all these machines, right? Dark blue machine, the first one. Turn this off. Our purifying machine. Now what I've done, you have the configuration tab up here. The input on the top, that's what this square up here means. That basically this is the top. And what I have is I have the slots. This, and I can show you something really cool, dark red and dark blue. So I know the input slot is dark red, the output slot is dark blue. So what I've done is the top of the machine is dark red. Everything that comes in will go to the input slot. Everything that is processed will get kicked out the bottom. But there's this other side over here. Okay, the left side, input. What I'm saying is this machine will only accept things that have been flagged with the color dark blue when it comes from the logistical sorter over here. So only dark blue content will come in through that slot. And then I have it set to automatically color everything black when it goes through output. That's why you see everything that comes out of the bottom of these machines has a little black box around it. Everything that's going to this first machine, the purifier, has a dark blue box around it. That's how I'm doing that. Basically, I set the color here. All osmium ore, give it a dark blue color, which means it automatically finds its way to here. Because this machine is set to dark green for everything that comes in, and it sends out black. This one, dark aqua, and everything is colored black when it gets sent out. Then dark red for this one, and everything gets sent out black. So everything is color assigned, and then this box up here is just purple, which means nothing will go down this branch of the piping right here unless it has a purple box on it. Otherwise, it'll go back to the logistical sorter and sit there. Now, there's another step to this entire process that I have. Logistical sorters have this little button right here, auto eject. Basically, I have that turned off. What this means is if you have it turned on, it pushes everything it finds in the chest out into the pipes, whether it knows where to send it or not. But I don't want that. So right now, I have this turned off, which means if I got, let's get something random. Let's say torches. I have no filter for torches, so they're not going anywhere. They're just sitting there. Now, if I wanted to, actually, I'm going to steal one of those. I could say item stack. So this is an item. I'm just going to put one right there, and it keeps a copy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Purple. I want to send all torches to purple. Boom. It kicks them out, and we can follow them. They're going down here. They're going to bypass all the machines. And they're going to go straight to the barrels, as you can see right here. It's going to find the first empty barrel it can, which is going to be one of these two. I'm not sure which one. And it will go in that barrel. Ta-da! It's that simple. So basically, you just have to configure this, as you can see right here. As I did for my copper, I have also ingot, osmium. So I actually have those in there twice. It's kind of overkill. But I have also lead ore in here. I have everything in here. I have even set up, now redstone ore, this is redstone ore that you would pick up with Silk Touch. Now you cannot normally process this unless you run it through the right machine. Well, in this case, if I smelted it, I only get 1 per ore. But if I send it through the enriching chamber, I get 12. That's a pretty big difference in where I want to send it. And I already have a filter. As you can see, it's going to skip the purifier. It's going to skip the crusher. And it's going to go straight here to the enriching chamber. I'm just speeding that up. Now here comes all of this redstone. It's going to hit the chest. And let's go down here. This is the difference. If that would have been only sent to the smelter, only to the oven, I would have only gotten 1 stack of redstone ore. Now what you see right here is I have 12 stacks of redstone ore. Let's see how much more redstone we get from that 1 stack of ore, just because we sent it to the right machine for processing. It's going up quick. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That's 12 stacks. From 1 stack of redstone ore, just because I sent it to this machine instead of this one. That's why this entire rig is very important. It's totally customizable. I could do the same thing again if I wanted to with lapis ore. I've done the exact same thing. I have a filter set up in there to send that block to the enriching chamber. So, now again, we have stacks being sent down here to the Java barrels. And I have 12 stacks of this stuff here. Now, if I would have run that lapis ore through an oven, I would have gotten 1 lapis. But because I sent it to the enriching chamber, I'm going to get a lot more. And let's see what the final count is going to be. We're going up. Whoop, we're going up. We started at 12 stacks, and we're going to end at 24 stacks. The same thing, 24 stacks difference, which 12 stacks difference, I'm sorry, which basically means we got an extra 11 stacks just by sending it to this machine instead of this one. That's a big deal. So basically, here's what you're looking at. Whatever machine you want to put on here. Now, I could have another color right here with a sawmill on it. The only thing is, a sawmill from thermal expansion. The only trick is, this is very, very important. Because if you don't have a machine that can do this, then when your sawmill from thermal expansion pushes things out into the pipes, it could end up trying to go to one of these other machines. So what you'd have to do is have a sawmill, a chest, and then another sorter that would just send everything to black and have it set to auto eject. You could do that, but that's one of the reasons why this works so well with Mekanism machines, is because they have so much control over their inventory. The basic thing you have to remember is you have to make sure, let's get the right angle here. I have a dark blue pipe up here. You want to have the same color right here on whatever side. This is top, left, right, back, bottom. No, this is front, and that's back, I think. Yes. Top, bottom, left, right, back, front. So basically you want to make sure you have the right side set, and this color needs to match up to this. And then you want to have this set to whatever chest you have that you're pulling everything out of. Otherwise, you can organize this entire thing yourself. You can set it all up however you want to. It's definitely possible to make it much more compact, but I wanted to keep it spread out for the sake of making the build look nice and making it look visible so you could follow everything. Now I'll show you. Let's get some ore. A lot of different kinds of ore. I want a stack of those. I want a stack of those. Oh, not yet. You're spoiling all the fun. I'm going to get, whoops. Stacks of those. Stack of those? No. I'll do a stack of those. Silver, tin. Let's do more copper, more tin. What I'm going to do, I have a hopper here. Just going to flip that lever, unlock the hopper, and you're going to see this in action. It's multiple different kinds of ore. Now, there's something important. All these machines, I have sorting turned off. The reason why is because if sorting turned on, one kind of ore would fill up everything. With this, you're going to have multiple things processing at a time. So you want to leave extra slots full. This way you can have 7 different kinds of ore being processed and sorted out by your facility. And see, this is what I'm talking about. This wouldn't have shown up if I had all gold ore. So I actually suggest that you should leave this off. Leave it off, turn it off. And you'll find that you'll get a much more usefulness and better turnaround for your different things. So now we've already got gold. Going to the second step down here. We have iron coming out down here. And we still have more stuff coming in. So this is going to take a little while. But I think you get the idea of why this is such a beneficial system. I think you get the idea behind some of the real power that logistical sorters can have, especially when coupled with other machines or Mekanism. So this is Vaygrim signing off. I think this is going to be a really good stopping point. But don't consider this the last you've heard. of Mechanism's wonders and what you can do with these machines, much less the logistical sorter. I'll be back and we'll go over more complex systems so you can start getting the hang of it. I wait to hear your suggestions on this episode and others. Let me know what ideas you got for something that needs a mod guide, something that needs explaining. You tell me, and I'll see if I can come up with something. Again, this is Vaygrim signing off. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.